All right. So, welcome, everybody. For those of you who don't know, I'm Elijah with Financial Independence Firm. This is Eric. He's my client. And we actually just got done a quarterly review. We've been working together for quite some time now.
Yeah.
He was actually one of my first clients since doing mission work before I
Mhm.
really knew it was mission work. So, um, but as he was speaking, I just thought it would be important to share his story, because there's so much chaos in the financial news cycles. You know what I'm saying? They talk about what happened in Davos, the war, gas prices. And to hear, just your story, I think is going to be an inspiration to many. Um, but yeah, yeah, man. I was thinking about some of the questions. I had a ton written for Mortgage Free Life, bro. But you reminded me, like, you got the hookup. You have more than just mortgage free life. You have a HELOC, you have the IUL, you have a fixed indexed annuity. Like you
Mhm.
have like some certainty. So
Mhm.
I would like to know more just about like your financial journey since we met, and how does like financial independence firm fit?
Well, like I said, we've been working together for quite some time, and when you first presented this information to me, it all made sense. Like it sounded sketchy at first, because you have everybody doing the life insurance here, there, then you hear HELOCs, but the way you presented what you had to offer for financial independence, it all clicked. And it's like, oh, this don't feel like if I'm not losing anything. I'm getting all my money back. I feel like this is the right financial vehicles, and it made sense for me and my family going forward. Like just the annuity alone, like it's like, hey, I had a 401k from my previous job that I was not using. It was inactive. And you say,
Mm,
hey, if you have another one, just turn that into an annuity. And then you educated me on annuities and which one to use, which one not to use, and which one best fit for my lifestyle, what I want to do when I retire. And so the annuity box was checked. So boom, we got there. And I already have a active 401k with one working now. So that box is checked too. And we got that situated with the best options.
come on, come on,
And
and that's what was so inspiring to me because like um you are well implemented within at least the vision that I feel like that I have to offer to people.
mhm,
You're like halfway there. You're two of four. And
mhm.
you're not even like how old are you? Tell the people how old you are, man.
I just turned 36, so
Yes, happy belated, bro. Want to
really
tell
appreciate it.
everybody his birthday. You said it was last week, right?
Yeah, last week.
Come on. And you have a plan with this mortgage free life and this annuity. Like you said, you're just checking these boxes off. So now you have retirement checked off. And
Mhm.
tell the people, like, what is the plan for mortgage free life? Like, what could you tell us, like, when you first came to me, how much, like, what was the mortgage looking like versus the projections with this strategy, this new system?
So with this, like, when you present it to me, like, hey, when you like to have more of your money now, and people always have the traditional, like, hey, I'll wait till I retire. Like you said, by the time they're 60, 70, you can't really enjoy that money. So when you presented this mortgage free life to me, my mortgage going from being paid off into what I still had 27 years left compared to now I'll probably pay it off in the next 4 to 5 years, depending how much I hustle or even do that. So that saved me about 20 years of mortgage payments. And I
Listen,
can
we
use
got rid of that mortgage, which is a death pledge. It's insane, bro. You went from 27 years down to 4 to 5. By the time you're
Mhm.
40 years old, you're going to be able to say that your mortgage is paid off. And not
Yes,
only that, you have these other assets growing for you.
correct.
So, like I said, it just, I was I'm just proud, to see the work that you
Yeah, I
put
appreciate
in,
yeah, I mean,
like,
like,
good.
I appreciate you presenting information because, like, when you told me this information, I had a choice to make too. Like, do I want to accept or do I not? And everything you said made sense. It's not like hey, it's like not saying a scam, but hey, I'm trying to pull your leg along. As long as you do this, you get this. Like you told me, hey, as long as you budget, you don't overspend. Like you gave me the facts, and then when I implemented them, it made sense. You showed me on paper how many years I could pay off my mortgage, or even like you said, how far my annuity could grow, how far my 401k could grow, and
Right.
it just made sense to like, hey, I already got those retirement assets down pat. Why don't I just get this mortgage down pat, and then next thing you know, I'll be like debt free and everything.
Hello, come on, bro. We have a plan for, let's say, this is pretty conservative, I would say, 10 years, you to be debt free,
Mm,
debt free with multiple cash flowing assets
mm,
available to you. So, you know, that's the first step, like we were saying, stop fighting to be at zero. You are a living testament of that. And then you'll be able to move from that to, this is something that we'll talk about eventually, setting
mm,
up your children that way they don't have to even go in this process. You're currently exiting the system, building your own system.
mm.
But to give them that foundation, that way when they're an adult, they have this equity pool, which is
Yes.
this life insurance bucket, as opposed to just the social security number, which gives you access to debt. And we all
Mm.
know how that system works. But anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna
um,
say, even with the mortgage free life, like just another asset to it. When he was telling me about it, is like having access to the equity that all the house prices are going up.
mm,
So I bought it at a low. I bought it before the house boom, and it seemed like I benefit off it with this program because it's like, hey, I need an AC unit. I didn't have to go get a loan to get that. I just used the money from the HELOC for that. I had some family members I had to go to the hospital. I had to pay for that. Or, like, do I have to get a loan for that? That's coming to like cash out my pocket. No, I just use the HELOC or the equity for that. And then money going back in, it's just like I have access to my asset, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. And
Personally.
I would try to explain it like he says, as the value of the house is going up, that just
Mm,
means that his asset is also increasing, not just in theory, but in tangible cash if he
mm,
wants to. And I
mm,
appreciate you bringing up that I presented the facts, because a lot of people hear that and go spin crazy. No, you have to have some sort of accountability even within yourself, because if you're recklessly spending this, the plan won't work. It only
correct.
works when you follow it. So,
Mm,
man, I don't know. I just love to work, especially with my people. You're a black man, you're
mm,
married, you're Christian, to
mm.
really grasp it like immediately. And you're already seeing the process, because it's only been what? We're going on 2 years working together, right?
This is year, well,
Or
this is
maybe
starting
three. We might be
year
going on three.
three. Yeah, yeah, year three.
Yeah, man. And you're already starting to see some of these things. So,
Mm,
I mean, I like I said, I thought that was an inspiration, because every time I look, you
yeah.
just there's just so much fear of what's
Mm,
next.
mm,
And this is what I tell everybody: when you're moved from the current system into this, like, you almost insulate yourself and you prepare, and it's an
mm.
opportunity, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you're just steadily building. It feels like you have more confidence. So I just wanted people to hear from you. But before I let you go, I know you have to run. You got to meet up with your boys.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
if you can hear them, but that's what they're doing. They're running around.
no, they're good. But is there anything you want to plug? Any final words that you want to say? I really do appreciate you for taking some time out for this.
Um, I would say, you know, check out financial independence, get the facts straight. Set up with a meeting with you, of course, Elijah, because like even like you said, when I first started, I was like, this does sound good to be true. But like you say, you give me all the facts, nothing like no bull, no nothing, and I'm checking the boxes, like you said, with the retirement income, like because everybody's looking to save money, make money, and this right here just alleviate the stress of, hey, don't have to worry about my next paycheck. How do I do this? It lifts the burden.
Right. And actually,
Mm.
if you don't mind, like, your story wasn't all sunshine and rainbows either, right? Like, there was, you had a
Oh,
child along the
yeah.
way,
Mhm. Oh,
lost.
I could give that side story if you want me to. So
If you're comfortable,
yeah,
I don't want people to think like, oh man, you just grab somebody who got an 800 credit score and he's single. No, 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 no. Like, he's a real person with real
mm,
life, and
mm,
with that, this system gave him more freedom than what he would have normally had. So, if you
yeah.
don't mind sharing that, I think that would be just valuable.
So I mean, I'll just give like a random number. Like we'll start. Let's say the mortgage. We started off owing like let's say 200, and then it was me and my wife with two incomes. We got kids and everything. So at some point, she had to stop working to take care of the kids. So that's
Mm,
just a loss of income right there.
mm,
And with a steady with regular mortgage, it's kind of like, hey, how do I make up the extra money? But with the HELOC, it's kind of, hey, I could be a little more flexible. I could see what works and what don't work until I find that rhythm again to help pay that off.
Right.
And then times where we had hospital, we had to go to the doctor for a few times. Like you said, we got the AC unit, had to get a new AC unit, had to just house stuff, like everything piling up. And at some point, we were actually going the wrong direction with the HELOC. And like I said, we had a meeting, and then we talked about it, like what actually happened, and got plugged away. And then next thing you know, it was like now, long term, I see that we knocked off a good bit. Like we added years when we was above it, around the 200, but now we're like knocking out like we dropped the mortgage, or we dropped the principal by what, almost 20 grand, and that's within.
Exactly. That was kind of what we were looking at, just the projections. The projections. And if it's I thought it was a little bit more aggressive than 20
Mm,
grand, but you can see the
mm,
progress.
mm,
Um, man, yeah, no, it was very inspiring to see you navigate that. I
mm,
appreciate you reaching out because a lot of people, when they get confused or when things happen, they don't reach out. This is
mm,
a new system. How do you operate that?
mm.
How do you feel communication has been with me?
Oh, it's been great. Like you said, email away. You do not hesitate. Like, hey, we'll get a meeting. You have any questions, you do your best to answer. Um, and like you said, there's no bull with it. It's like, oh, I'll get around to it this time. I'll do this. It's very direct, upfront, and very informational. Like I'm learning something new every time we meet up, or if we have a meeting, or if I have a question. It's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that, or oh, I didn't know this was an option. And it's just new stuff and new information, and which I can apply to what I'm doing now, which is helping me move forward faster.
Right, man. And the last thing that I'll say, because I know you got
Mm,
to go, is what
mm,
I think is dope, and I just would love if you could confirm it, is that you don't necessarily have to like invest per se. It's
mm.
almost like a changing of where you place your money is the
Correct.
key. It's really not a huge barrier of entry outside of just acceptance of thought. But
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure whoever, when they meet with you, you'll tell them it's like, like we know how interest works. Like, when you first pay your mortgage, 90, almost 100% of your first payments of what the 10 years go straight to interest. None of it goes to principal until, it's time to actually, once they get their money, then you switch it up to, okay, now you're paying more to principal off, versus this is just, you're going straight to it. Like you're paying yourself pretty much.
and this is the thing, like I feel like that information has been
Mm,
given so much,
mm,
and I'm at the stage of I don't want to give that to you. You should
mm.
know this at this stage. What are we going to do with this information? So man, I'm just proud of you, bro. Hopefully we get to inspire people. I
Mm.
appreciate the last words. I don't know if you want to plug like your Instagram or anything, but I'm definitely going to be posting this sometime soon.
I'm pretty sure I can find me. My Instagram isn't that exciting. It's just me, my kids. So if y'all
Okay.
do, it's Kinlock 41, KINLOCH 41. Um, that's about it right there.
All right, brother. You have a blessed day. I appreciate this.
All right, appreciate it, man. You have a blessed day as well.
Take care.
Yeah, see you.